With me. Lord, take me where you want me to go. Let me meet who you want me to meet. Tell me what you want me to say. And please keep me out of your way. Amen. Please be seated. This is an odd reading to me because it's chopped up. It's a little bit of a piece before the feeding of the 5,000 and a little bit after the feeding of the 5,000, but no mention of this great miracle of Jesus feeding them. But I think, in fact, I know that's on purpose, because we are to ferret out some truths from these two pieces of the reading from the Gospel of Mark. This is the only place in the Gospel of Mark where it's mentioned that the disciples teach people. In the other Gospels, the disciples do that on a regular basis. But in Mark, this is the one and only place where it's highlighted. So imagine, if you will, that Jesus has sent out the 12 for a little while. Go out and do what I have taught you to do, and come back and report to me. I imagine it's a little bit like when mom or dad comes home from a long day at work and their young children run up to tell them what they learned in school today, or to show their artwork or their good grades. It's an exciting moment. The disciples are full of stories, and I see Jesus in my mind's eye, oh, so pleased, but also a little concerned. They haven't even had time to have a proper meal. They've been so besieged by people. Have you ever felt like that? I do. Sometimes I catch myself standing at the kitchen counter, eating a sandwich as fast as I can to get back to my desk over here in the church. I know you've all had moments like that, where you've had days that were non-stop. Well, this is what the time was like for Jesus and the disciples. But you almost hear Jesus taking this deep breath after hearing all their stories and saying, you must rest. You must take time for yourself. If you wear yourself out, you'll be good for no one. Jesus himself, on a regular basis, withdrew, didn't he? He talked about going to the Garden of Gethsemane more than once. He often went places by himself to pray, to speak with God, to hopefully listen to God, and to recharge. So I think this reading is very appropriate in the summer when we all take time to recharge, don't we? We break away from all the demands of our lives and we go away for a few days to recharge. I just did that myself, and I feel unusually refreshed this weekend after coming back from a few days away. It's a great feeling. And I think Jesus is reminding us that much is given to us to do, so much, but that we must take time to recharge. But I don't mean just time to lay on the lounge chair by the pool, though that's a lot of fun. I think an important part of that, recharging, is reconnecting with our own individual relationship with God, not the corporate or community relationship that we all have as we sit here together, but our own one-on-one time with our Maker. It's important. It's very important. And we know from this reading that thousands were coming to see Jesus. It wasn't a little trickle or just a few people. And by extension, the disciples were being besieged as well. Please help us get closer to your Lord. Somehow, let me bring my sick brother or sick sister or sick child to this man that heals. It must have weighed heavy on those disciples' hearts, seeing so many people in distress. There's a wonderful little detail in that very last sentence. You might wonder why it's even mentioned when people say, if we can just touch the fringe of his cloak, we will be healed. And indeed they were. In more than one case, this happens. Why mention fringe? Well, you see, adult Jewish men were expected to wear a vest with fringe on it. Jesus did this. Jesus was a devout Jew. And I love that part of this story, reminding us of his Jewishness, of following Jewish tradition where he thought it appropriate, to remind us of his own faith. So as he walked by, this fringe, which would have hung nearly to the ground, would have swept by the people laying on mats on those dusty roads and fields. And just the brushing of that fringe would heal them. This almost inconsequential experience with Christ would change these people's lives. I love that. We don't have to have a mountaintop experience to be changed by Jesus. Our regular Sunday worship, our time apart recharging, so many regular events give us the opportunity to be changed by Jesus. So for me, this reading today is about recharging, to be able to go back out there and do the work that Jesus has given us to do. And to remember that no matter what the event is or the experience that you're having with your Lord, it can change you. It will change you. Amen.